Hey YouTube, I'm back. I wanted to get more videos out onto my channel. It's been quite a few years actually. I came across some free time and I got a fancy new microphone, so just wanted to put some more MTG content out there. So what I'm going to be showing you today is my current form of burn. It's Mardu burn. It's got some changes that the traditional burn decks don't really play, but given the current meta, I think my changes have been working out pretty well. So I'm going to start with the creature base. It's just the 4 Goblin Guides, 4 Monastery Swiftspears, and then 2 Grim Lavamancers. And the biggest thing to notice is that Eidolon is not in the 75, but that's more of a personal preference. I think a lot of the decks either don't care about Eidolon or they're just faster than what Eidolon can put out there. The next card is Forked Bolt, which hasn't caught on with a lot of people, but I like to dump my hand faster, and Fork Bolt's fine. Like, you're gonna win more games by casting a lot of 1 CMC spells rather than having a bunch of 2 CMC spells that you don't have enough time to cast them. And the biggest reason to run black would be Bump the Night, which is just a Lava Spike in black. Playing 4 Lava Spikes, 4 Bolts, 4 Shard Volleys, which might seem a little extreme on paper, but you're using this card to just win the game. Like, you don't need lands when you're trying to just win on the spot. Like 3 damage. Like, this can represent 9 damage for 3 mana, which can just win the games in a lot of spots that I've had it in. 4 Rift Bolts. The only white card in the main deck is 4 Boros Charms. It's sort of too good not to include. 4 Searing Blaze, and then the 2 CMC spells that we're not running in the main deck would be Skullcracks and Lightning Helixes. Lightning Helix has only been really good in the mirror. You lose points in the mirror with this deck, but it's a trade-off because you'll actually just you get more 1 CMC spells to just fire off, and Skullcracks are on the sideboard. We're playing a 19 land mana base. It's pretty straightforward. We're playing 4 fast lands, a 2-2 split between Cliffs and Vantage, 4 shock lands, 2-2 split between Blood Crypt and Sacred Foundry, 2 basic mountains, and 9 red fetch lands. I'm going to move over here to the sideboard once just to discuss some of my choices. 2 Dragon's Claws, is just concession to the mirror match. It's hoping to just catch them off guard because a lot of people like to play their core Firewalkers in the sideboard, so if you bring in Dragon's Claw, they might not bring in their artifact destruction for that. And then I have 5 cards that can blow up artifacts. Smash to Smithereens, and then 4 Rakdos Charms, which is really good in a variety of situations, like graveyard decks that like to go wide, and then obviously decks that like to play a bunch of artifacts like Affinity, KCI. Big thing here is that we're not actually splashing green for D-Rev, so I haven't faced a deck that plays Leyline in forever, so you're just sort of hoping to fade that, which it doesn't come up that often. Like, the deck that plays Leyline most of the time is Boggles, and we have Deep Palms to sort of like come in there. Hopefully it's good enough. We have 3 Skullcracks for the life gain decks, mostly like Amulet, Titan Shift, stuff like that. 2 Deep Palms I've been liking a lot against a lot of Hollow One Bridgevine. It's pretty good against those decks, and then it hoses like Boggles and Infect. For the 3 CMC spells. We have 2 Firecrafts, help us against the Jeskai control mirrors, control matchups, and decks that just have Chalice of the Void as well. And then interesting one that not a lot of people play would be Flamebreak, which it's for 3 red, deals 3 damage to each creature without flying in each player. So this is like, it's sort of like Anger of the Gods that doesn't exile, but it also damages the player. Most important thing about sideboard cards in Burn is that you want all your cards to also deal damage if possible, and I believe I really like this configuration in the sideboard. So without further ado, I'm gonna run this deck in a competitive Modern League. Stay tuned.